if you're a business owner that's frustrated by paying so much on auto insurance for your business, this is the video for you. What I'm going to be doing today is going over some tips and tricks from my experience as an insurance broker for the last 5 years and stuff that has helped my clients save money on auto insurance on an annual price. So I'm going to give going over some stuff. The first thing I want to clarify is that if you live in a major city, your auto is going to increase pretty soon. Now, this is a combination of a few things. So inflation is hitting everyone, and that also goes for insurance companies. Essentially, it's getting more and more expensive to insure your vehicle and to replace the parts on your vehicle, and that's why insurance companies are going to continue raising those prices. So what we're going to be talking about today is just some stuff that you can implement. I think for any business size, really, if you're small, if you're big, it doesn't matter. I'm sure you're going to be finding something in here that could work for you. So hopefully this is beneficial, and we're just going to get started, okay? So the first thing I want to talk about is MVR reports, meaning researching your employees before you hire them. So with any employee, it's one of, I think, like such a frustrating situation when you hire an employee and then you have to either change their description of what they're doing. Let's say you find out after you added them to the policy that they can't actually drive. Let's say they have a DUI or they're like too young. I don't know, like there's a variety of reasons. For you to find out more, it's best to go to your specific insurance company and just ask them for the eligibility guidelines, or your broker. Ask them to see who is considered for them a good and bad driver. That would be the first step for this. And then checking their MVR before you hire them is going to be essential for decreasing your annual price. The better and better your driver's records are going to be, the cheaper you're going to be paying for your auto insurance. So the driving record of every individual driver is directly going on your insurance policy. So if you have younger drivers that have multiple accidents, that got tickets, this is going to increase your prices. And a way to avoid that is really checking their MVR reports before you even hire them. It depends on what state you are. Usually those are very cheap to pull online. You can have the new hire or the candidate pull their own MVR, bring it with them to the interview, and that way you can kind of cross-reference that with what your insurance company gave you, so that way you can make sure that this is a good driver that doesn't have any accident and then is not going to increase. And also you're not going to have to spend the energy on like hiring them, figuring out they can't even drive, and then having to remove them, find them a new position in the company, or fire them. I know it's extremely time consuming to get employees, so we want to avoid that as much as we can. And by you checking their MVR, it's usually a $5, $10 report that they can pull online. There is also, depending on where you are, there are companies that will monitor those throughout the year. So that's another thing to consider. If you have, I would say, 20 to 30 drivers at any given time, that is something to consider, to just have a company monitor them all the time. The second thing I want to be talking about today is when to file an insurance claim and when you should not file an insurance claim. Now, this is going to be extremely specific to the scenario. I would say what I recommend for my clients is that anytime that there's someone injured or another party that's involved, it's most likely going to have to go through the insurance company. But if your driver just did something small, they ran into an object and it's just damage to your own vehicle, it's very hard to just file the insurance claim. It can be extremely confusing. You can have a whole process and then it might not even be worth it. So I would say First of all, you always need to know what your deductible is, and then kind of take the claims and consider them. If it's going to be a very small fix, and then if you take into account the deductible, you might not get a payout at all. But if it's going to be a small payout and this is something that you can fix on your own and you have the budget to do that, I highly recommend not filing the insurance claims, just because it's going to affect your policy. It's going to increase your price, and we want to avoid that as much as possible. So just a quick recommendation for any accident that you have: talk to your broker before you file a claim and talk about the specifics, what the damage is, how much you think it's going to cost to fix it, and then you can kind of collaborate and see. That's something that I do with all my clients, is I make sure that it actually makes sense for them to file the auto claim before they do it. So that's the second thing. Third thing I want to be talking about today is creating some sort of like a safety guide for your company. So right now, with everything that's going on in the world of insurance, markets are getting more and more difficult, and we're seeing that mostly. Like, I would say the first thing that's being tackled right now is going to be the auto. We saw a lot of property stuff last year. 2024, we're going to see it a lot in the auto space because of those price increases, having a harder time to get the parts for the vehicles and them being more expensive. They want to make sure that you're being proactive about safety in your company. So insurance companies, the underwriters are, they're extremely easy to persuade. I would say it is very important for you to make sure that you're being proactive about safety. That's something that underwriters want to see, they like to see, and it's easy to just show them that you mean business. Show them that you care about your employees' safety and your company's safety, and that you don't want to have so many insurance claims. So one thing to do that is having some sort of a safety manual or a pamphlet that you are going over with every one of the employees at hire and also throughout the year. I would plan for it to be, very as much as a realistic thing for you as a business owner to do. I would say twice a year is a good place to start if you're not doing any of this right now. And then finding some sort of a program where you can talk to your employees about auto safety. So whether it's really going heavy on not being distracted while they drive, whether it's going over rules, whether it's specific danger, weather conditions, anything that could really improve the safety of your drivers is going to be extremely important. And what you can do is actually take those programs and make sure that your underwriter knows about it. So working in collaboration with your broker, having the underwriter know that you're being proactive about this stuff is bound to get you a better insurance rate. So if you don't know where to start, if you're having a hard time and this seems like completely unrealistic, a lot of insurance companies, maybe even the insurance company you're with right now, has a ton of stuff that you guys can actually look for online and get something written. It doesn't have to be completely complex. If you're just starting out, if you're already doing some of this, there's definitely ways to collaborate with your broker or even with the insurance company to make sure that you have a procedure in place that's written, that the employees sign off on, and that they're just being proactive about the safety in your organization when it comes to vehicle is going to be extremely important. So that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about today. I'm going to do some other parts for this video. This is really just a start. But if you guys have any questions, my information is below. Feel free to email me or just, comment down below and let me know if you have any questions, something that I can help with. And that's it. Thank you so much.